A reading from the book of Genesis. The Lord said to Abram, "Go forth from the land of your kinsfolks and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. All the communities of the earth shall find blessings in you." Abram went to the Lord, directed him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abram took his wife, Sarai, his brother's sons, Lot, all the possessions that they had accumulated, and the persons they had acquired to Haran. Then they set out for the land of Canaan. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land as far as the sacred place at Shechem, by the terebinth of Moreh. The Canaanites were then in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." So Abram built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. And from there he moved onto the hill countryside of Bethel, pitching the tent with Bethel to the west and Ai to the east. He built an altar there to the Lord and invoked the Lord by name. Then Abram journeyed on by the stages of Negeb. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Responsorial Psalm. Blessed are the people the Lord has chosen to be his own.
Blessed the people the Lord has chosen to be his own.
Blessed the nation whose God is the Lord. The people has chosen to be their own inheritance. From heaven the Lord looked down. He sees all mankind.
Blessed the people the Lord has chosen to be his own.
See, the eyes of the Lord are upon those who fear him, upon those who hope for his kindness, to deliver them from death and preserve them in spite of famine.
Blessed the people the Lord has chosen to be his own.
Our Lord waits for the Lord, who is our help and our shield. May your kindness, O Lord, be upon us who have put our hope in you.
Blessed the people the Lord has chosen to be his own.
The Lord be with you.
With your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Lord, your Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "Stop judging, that you may not be judged. For as you judge, so will you be judged. And the measure with which you measure will be measured out to you. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me remove that splinter from your eye,' while the wooden beam is in your eye? You hypocrite, remove the wooden beam from your eye first, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter from your brother's eye." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise the Lord Jesus Christ.
It's probably one of the more famous Bible quotations, and it's really about not judging other people. And that might be a challenge for some of us because we have that great flaw to judge other people. As we live, particularly when we're driving in the world. I'm the best driver in the world. Nobody else is as good as I am, right? so I can always go after them. They never hear what I have to say because I'm in my little car all by myself. But that's what Jesus is trying to get after. And of course, he uses an imagery, that people would be familiar with. There must have been carpenters in the crowd, more or less, is he talking about splinters and beams. And of course, Jesus knew something about splinters and beams, didn't he? He grew up with a father who was a carpenter, so he would have been very familiar with these things in a real earthy way. He might have had a splinter in his own eye at some point, working with his daddy. You never know. But I'm sure his dad didn't try to remove it either. So it's a very earthy image. But again, it's about that reality of our inward life, not somebody else's inward life, from which everything might negative come from, but our inward life. And that's what Jesus is constantly trying to help people understand, is that we all have that inner life that needs attention first before it may be helpful for others. You see, the great wisdom of our saints, they've gained clarity and clarity and clarity through their lives, and that's why we turn to them, because now they can give us guidance. They can help us remove that beam out of our own eye, because they have gained that clarity because they worked on that interior life. And today we celebrate Aloysius Gonzaga, a very famous Jesuit, a very young Jesuit. He died at the age of 23. 23, that's nothing really, comparatively speaking, but from a very early age he had suffered from malaria, but he moved towards prayer in his life daily, and that continued to be a profound reality in his own life. And part of his story is that he was of a very, very, very privileged family. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, as we might say, but constantly the Lord was calling to him on his own interior life, which led him to be a great person, taking care of people, particularly with the plague that went through Rome, and ultimately succumbing to it himself. So he is one of those saints that we look to, that he worked on that interior life by prayer, by fasting 3 times out of the week, by communion only once a week, but he went to daily mass. And so that's what we're called to, is that interior life. And great things always happen when we respond to the love of God and to our souls.